This tractor also had a leak in the carburetor. I could never get it to quit leaking gas. So what I did was I had one of these. I think you can get a fuel shut off at the auto parts. And I put this in. I put a fitting in here and then screwed this in. And I can shut this fuel off. Right now it's off. And because it went straight up and down, that carburetor won't leak. It'll keep the gas in there. But you got to remember, obviously, to turn on and off when you start or stop the tractor. I put a fuel filter on it because when I put the fitting in here, there was no place to put the sediment bowl. So I just ran an inline filter with some fuel line, and it doesn't matter what fuel line it is because I use ethanol-free gas. So that's not an issue. And I keep it off of the head with a nylon tie, just keeps it off. Like I said, this isn't a beauty queen. This is my workhorse. Maybe one day we'll restore it, but right now it's got a function and a purpose. So we just keep it simple and make it earn its keep. So steering's still pretty tight in it. These Cub Cadets end up stripping out right here, flopping around. This one's still pretty good. Somebody, I think, put a tapered pin in here. That helps. Some guys will drill this out right here, and they'll actually weld. Then they'll put the piece back on, and then they'll weld and fill that in to the top of the I guess you call it the axle bushing, and they would actually weld this in here so this is tight and this won't flop around anymore. Then if you have to go take it back off, you just grind all this top off of here and pop the thing off and replace it or whatever you need to do. This tractor also is missing the heat shield that goes on top of this head. I'm running it in the wintertime most entirely, so I really don't need it on there. But what has happened is there's a hole over here. You can see it. It's underneath the gas tank. The damn mice get in there. They build a nest, and several times I've had to clean the nest out of there. So because this is missing, if you don't have one of these on here, I usually, in every fall, I buy a whole box of dryer sheets, and I stuff the dryer sheets in those holes and stuff like that, and it keeps the mice out. Mice don't like dryer sheets. I don't know why. And I don't like mothballs because they smell. So that's what I use is dryer sheets. And they seem to work pretty good, but you have to replace them every year. That's pretty much it. I made sure, I went through and greased everything. There's a couple of grease fittings on the front axle. Make sure that, the oil level in the rear end is good. There's a little plug on the back here just above the hitch. Down here, you take the plug out, stick your finger in there and curl it, and if you can feel oil at the end of your finger, you're good to go. There's enough oil, there's enough oil there. Make sure when you pull out too, it's not milky white. If it does, you need to change your oil because it's getting water in it somehow. So that's an issue. It's got the Deluxe Seat on it. I like these seats. They're not as cold in the wintertime as the steel pans are. It's definitely missing a horn button. And somebody painted the wrong color. But other than that, it's a workhorse. These Cub Cadets will push a house down. As long as you got traction, they'll go. Just, make sure you keep, check the oil. This was falling apart. I welded it up a little bit, put a couple of tack welds on it, so this doesn't slide up and down. That helped it out. Just put a little tack welded in both sides, and get your accurate level reading. There's two little notches on the top and on the bottom underneath that rubber washer, or the rubber. There's under the steel washer. It's the rubber in the middle, but this thing should stay between those two detents. So you get them back in there, and then, like I said, I put, sometimes you can use a punch to fix that, and that gives you accurate oil level read. Well, I think that's most of my pointers, tips. Once in a while, on a blue moon, you should probably put a little bit of grease in these wheels. Some of them don't have grease fittings, so you have to take this 9/16 bolt off, take the wheel completely off, take grease on the end of your finger, get it up in the hole there, and jam the grease back up into the grease, the bushing, or the whatever. Some of them have bearings, but a lot of them just have bushings. But you got to get the grease in there. You got to do that once in a while. You can't just, especially pulling that heavy or maintaining that heavy plow. It's got to be well greased. Yeah, that's about it for walking. I was a Cub Cadet mechanic at the Case IH dealership for 3 years, and I messed with a bunch of these things. I know these things inside out. Once in a while, you'll shear pins if you're driving along, and all of a sudden the tractor stops. The engine's running, but you can't go anywhere. You shift and twist the clutch out. There's a drive shaft underneath here, and it's got roll pins. There's a little output shaft that sticks out of the front of the transmission. There's a little coupler on there. There's two roll pins that go in there from that coupler, and the same on the front of the drive shaft also. So, that would constitute your reason for the tractor not moving anymore. Be a sheared pin. I changed a lot of those. That's pretty much it. This is just a rough, quick go round on adjustments and whatnot. What I've learned, what I've pass on to others. Like I said, these things make great snow plows. The newer Cadets, when I worked at the dealership, the newer Cadets have aluminum rear end housings, and they tend to break axles, and you just got all kinds of trouble with the rear end. So, if you're going to mow grass, those newer style Cadets are fine. But if you're going to really get down and dirty and push serious snow and put this thing to the test, you should have an older Cub Cadet, older than 85, 87. I think they went to aluminum in 88 or 7, somewhere in there. But these older ones take a beating and keep on ticking. So anyhow, that's it for now. It's me signing off. Like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and got any question or comments, give me a comment. I'll try to get back with you, and have a good one.